recent weather crisis in Texas shined a light on the need for renewable energy. President Biden has vowed a clean energy revolution to combat climate change, and one of his first executive orders was for the U.S. to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. I spoke with Dr. John Abraham tonight. He is a leading climate scientist and an engineering professor at the University of St. Thomas. He shared how clean energy will help us combat our warming planet. Dr. Abraham, thanks for being with us on a Saturday night.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on.
So walk us through what's happening with the new administration in this space.
So with the new administration, the United States has re-entered the Paris Climate Accord, and we are refocusing on creating the new energy economy right here in the United States. We want to turn this climate change and energy nexus into a job creation opportunity here in Minnesota, and the United States is becoming a leader around the world.
Do we know yet how rejoining the Paris Climate Accord is going to impact us here in the States or even here in Minnesota?
Well, frankly, Minnesotans are not going to feel it at all. But what it means is beyond Minnesota, it means that we can help articulate how the whole world is going to make changes to power our lives in a way that doesn't produce climate change gas.
Let's talk about the move to more renewable energy and how that actually shows up for us here in Minnesota.
Well, moving to more renewable energy shows up in two ways in Minnesota. First of all, it means that we can purchase electrons that are generated from the wind and sun. I mean, the sunlight is becoming our fuel and the wind is becoming our fuel. And that is great for all of us, in particular because the prices drop so rapidly that we can power our homes and our cars in a way that doesn't hurt the environment, but also saves us money.
Obviously, Texas is top of mind for a lot of people. We saw the rolling blackouts after the severe weather, and there's been a lot of chatter around how do we not become Texas. Tell us how we do that and how renewable energy sources play a role.
So Texas had some major problems, in part mostly because they had about a decade-long warning to winterize their electrical grid, and they didn't act on it. And maybe they didn't anticipate a storm like this. Now in Minnesota, we're fortunate because we have Minnesota winters. You'd never thought you'd hear that, but we've been forced to winterize our electrical grid, and so we are less likely to have a situation like that happen here in Minnesota. But if you look at Texas, about 2/3 of the power that they lost was in natural gas and coal, and about 1/3 was in wind and solar. And so, so all of those energy sources play a role in delivering energy, but the fossil fuel grid took the biggest hit in Texas. Now, in Minnesota, what we can do is diversify our energy supply, and that starts out with using a new technologies to deliver power to our homes and buildings, and that includes microgrids. You may have heard of microgrids or community solar projects. And in fact, we're working on those at the University of St. Thomas, where we're trying to teach our engineers to become the future energy suppliers of the United States and the world.
Let's drill down on jobs, because you mentioned that it could be a driver of jobs. Do we know how far that could go in a state like Minnesota?
Well, in Minnesota, we have really two options for powering our homes, cars, and buildings. We can either import fossil fuels, and a lot of that is international, but much of it is also domestic. So we import a lot of coal into Minnesota. Minnesota is not a coal producer. But the alternative to that is to produce our own electricity, and that's mainly with wind and solar power. Now, wind and solar power costs have dropped so dramatically over the past couple decades that they now are just as cheap as coal and other fossil fuels. So in Minnesota, you can expect us to increase our development of wind and solar.
How much of this is up to us and us making our own choices and someone deciding they want to put solar panels on their roof, and how much of it is up to the companies that we rely on to supply our energy?
Boy, that's a great question. And I would say that 5 years ago, if you put solar panels on your house or if you bought an electric car, you were doing it because you were trying to be a good person and help the environment. But things have changed now. And now people are doing solar panels, wind turbines, and electric cars because they also save money. So we're at a situation where it just makes economic sense for people to move to these new energy sources because they save money, create jobs, and diversify our energy supply.
So you see a tipping point, not just in our habits and the economics of it, but the interest at the federal level. How much of a transformation do you think will happen in the next 4 years on this timeline? towards moving towards that kind of energy?
If things go right, you will see, and Minnesotans will see more electric vehicles on the road, and we're going to start seeing more charging stations. Now, frankly, the electric vehicles that are available get a really large range, so you can drive to and from work for sure. I mean, 200, 300, sometimes 400 miles. But you will see more filling stations, electric filling stations, and you're going to see a lot of people that you know are going to start putting charging stations in their garage. And that's going to be a really exciting opportunity where you charge your car overnight and drive it away in the morning, and it's as clean as could be.
And you will find more on climate change at WCCO.com.